Shalom, you're watching Arutz Sheva TV. I'm Yoni Kopinski, and this is our daily edition. At around 2:30 in the morning, sirens were heard in central Israel. Gaza terrorists interrupted the sleep of residents in southern and central Israel on Monday night as they fired a salvo of rockets towards these regions. Sirens were heard in the Eshkol region in Ashdod and in central Israel, including Tel Aviv. The Iron Dome missile system intercepted a rocket over the Gush Dan region, a second rocket over Ashdod, and a third rocket over the central Israeli town of Gedera. A fourth rocket exploded in an open region in Rishon LeZion. There were no physical injuries or damages. According to reports, Israeli aircraft hit the home of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in the Gaza Strip. This happened inside the Shati region of Gaza on Monday night. This is according to his son. The Israeli enemy struck our house twice, Abed Salem Haniyeh said in a statement quoted by AFP. The Reuters news agency quoted Gaza's interior ministry as having said that the airstrike caused damage but no casualties. The names of 4 IDF soldiers who were killed in the mortar shell attack last night were cleared for publication. Staff Sergeant Eliyahu Chaim Kachlon, Corporal Meidan Maimon Biton, Corporal Niran Cohen, and Sergeant First Class Adi Briga. All 4 served in the 7th Armored Brigade of the IDF. In a separate incident, terrorists breached the border from Gaza near Kibbutz Nachal Oz. Some of the terrorists were killed, others escaped. The attack was thwarted. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the Israeli public on live television tonight. Netanyahu said, "We knew that we would have difficult days. This is a hard and painful day."
צריך אורך רוח ונחישות כדי להמשיך במאבק נגד ארגון טרור רצחני.
Patience and determination are needed in order to continue the struggle against a murderous terrorist organization that aspires to our destruction. We are at present continuing to take action to neutralize and strike at the terrorist tunnels. We will not complete the mission, we will not complete the operation without neutralizing the tunnels, the sole purpose of which is the destruction of our civilians and the killing of our children. This is the clear and unequivocal objective of the State of Israel, and the need for it has been apparent again today.
Hamas הפר את כל ההצעות להפסקות אש, כולן.
Hamas has violated every ceasefire proposal. We face a cruel enemy whose brutality is directed not only against us, against our civilians, but is also directed against its own civilians. It exploits their civilians in order for there to be more and more victims as they send fire and death towards us. Later tonight, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry related to the situation, making clear that Israel should have the right to continue to act against the tunnel threat in any ceasefire deal.
We are continuing to work toward establishing an unconditional humanitarian ceasefire, one that could honor Eid, which begins now, and that will stop the fighting, allow desperately needed food and medicine and other supplies into Gaza, and enable Israel to address the threat which we fully understand and which is real, the threat posed by tunnel attacks, and to be able to do so without having to resort to combat.
IDF Chief of Staff visited the troops in the Gaza Strip today to meet the soldiers, examine the situation from up close, and encourage the forces.
כל ניסיונות ההתקפה שלהם לשטחנו נכשלו, גם אם זה כאב לנו. וגם הלחימה שלכם בתוך שטח היא לחימה מצוינת. יש בה קשיים, יש בה בעיות לפעמים, אבל זה לחימה. ואנחנו צריכים להמשיך לעשות את הסיפור הזה, זה לנטרל את סוגיית המנהור ההתקפי. השפעה אמיתית, פיזית. כל המאמצים התקפים, ים, אוויר, כטב"מים, צנעים, כן, מגע של לא בלי מחיר, שיהיה בהצלחה בהמשך, עם ישראל גאה בכם. יש לנו עבודה נהדרת. ייקח עוד קצת זמן, אבל כל דקה שווה לנו. כל מנהרה שאנחנו לוקחים, כל פועל שאנחנו פוגעים, וכל מקום שאנחנו עושים עוד קצת, מדינת ישראל זה תמשיך מאוד.
Knesset member Moshe Feiglin spoke in Beit Shemesh and related to the situation. He said that it's time for Israel to take over the Gaza Strip.
The right goal should be victory, nothing less than that. Victory means destroying your enemy and take over the place. The enemy is not the tunnels. The enemy is not the rockets. And the target is definitely not to weaken the Hamas. Did Churchill said that the enemy is the Luftwaffe's airplanes? Was the target to weaken Hitler, Yimach Shmo? If that's the way World War I would have been done, there would be no victory at the end of it. God forbid. When you're going to war, you can't go lirvia velishlish. When you do that, you pay the price, and it's a very hard one. At the 6 Days War, it took less than a day to take over the Gaza Strip. It took 6 days to win the whole war. It took about a day to take over the Gaza Strip. You don't run after tunnels, you don't go into the homes. You hit the leadership hard. You understand that you're the good guy and they're the bad guy. You represent good, they represent evil. By the way, I told that today to this family I went to visit. I told them, I want you to know one thing, that your son fought and died for the good side.
The situation in the south, the situation in Israel did not deter and did not cancel the annual Tanakh Days of Learning, which takes place in Gush Etzion every year. Thousands come to the Herzl College in Yeshivat Har Etzion in Alon Shvut to learn Tanakh, to hear lectures and study the Tanakh. We spoke with two of the rabbis there.
Every year it's an amazing phenomenon to see 2,000 people come over the week to spend days to go back to school. We have here 80-year-olds and 20-year-olds all going back to school voluntarily in the middle of summer vacation to come and enrich their souls and to really drink from the well of Torah and to quench their thirst for in-depth and Tanakh studying.
The fact that we're studying, the fact that we are continuing, the fact that we are praying and learning and even collecting a lot of inspiration towards what we are doing here in the land of Israel is part of the battle, and I think it's very important for our students that are soldiers all over that anyone that was recruited should go to the army. Everyone else should do much more in studying and learning and coming, and this is part of it.
That's all for today's edition. We'll be back with more tomorrow. Until then, from all of us here at Arutz Sheva, IsraelNationalNews.com, Shalom.